Facebook friends. Welcome to the Houston Zoo Elephant Pool. Today we're going to be celebrating Tessa's 40th birthday, one of our Asian elephants here at the zoo, just one day early, but that is okay. So here we have our elephant pool, and what we're going to be doing is throwing some apples into the pool, kind of get these guys ready to get in. You can see Tess and her son Teddy here. So Tess, who's turning 40, is right there behind Teddy, and Teddy is 2 years old. He was born here at the Houston Zoo. And right behind Tess, you can see Tilly, who's Teddy's older sister. Tilly is 3 years old, actually 4 years old. And these guys come into the pool pretty much every day during the summer. Sometimes they come in on their own. Other times they like to do this fun bobbing for apples activity with their keepers. So today that's what we're showing you. And for Tessa's birthday today, she's also going to get a full-size watermelon, so an extra special treat for our elephants. Elephants love watermelons. They love all types of melons. It is an extra special treat for these guys. The elephants also eat a lot of other types of food. They eat all types of vegetables and fruits, and different types of things like grasses, hay, bamboo, palm fronds, things that you would find in the forest. So elephants easily eat about 200 pounds of food a day. Tess here weighs about roughly 7,000 pounds, which is an average size for a female Asian elephant. Males get larger. They easily weigh 10 to 12,000 pounds, sometimes even more. You can see Tess here. She's guarding her watermelon. She doesn't want her kids to take it from her. She's enjoying it a lot, but they're getting smaller pieces of fruit thrown at them. So Tess, being an Asian elephant, you might notice she doesn't have any big, long ivory tusks. That's normal for Asian elephants. It's just the males that start to grow the long ivory tusks, which you can see on Teddy. And as he gets older, they will continue to get wider and longer. So Asian elephants are endangered, and that is why we have a breeding program here at the Houston Zoo. Altogether, we have 12 elephants currently, and we've had a lot of baby elephants born here at the Houston Zoo in the past 10, 15 years. So Asian elephants, there's only about 30,000 in the wild, and in most places, this is due to a loss of habitat. So just a removal of the forest where the elephants would normally live makes it really hard for elephants to find a new place to live. So elephants rely on the forest for food. Like I said, they can eat 200 or more pounds of food every day. A lot of that is things like bamboo, grasses, trees, branches, things that you find in the forest. And so when the forests are removed, elephants become very hungry, and so then they have to search new areas for food. And a lot of times the areas that they find winds up being farmland. So they're steal crops from farmers, steal fruit from villagers' trees. And this is unfortunate because then the elephants are viewed as a pest. So in some places, the Houston Zoo is trying to help these situations. In Borneo specifically, we work with Farina Othman, who helps Asian elephants in Borneo by working with farmers and villagers who live in close contact with elephants and trying to help them live more harmoniously together, whether that's by building fences or putting radio collars on elephants to better track them so that way they can see when they're coming closer to villages, and just to understand their migration patterns better. We've also helped efforts with trying to reforest certain areas by planting small trees and protecting that forest and hoping that, in the next 20, 30 years that can potentially be suitable habitat for elephants and other wild animals in Borneo. You can see Tess there. She's getting food straight in the mouth now. She's finished her melon. No big deal for an elephant. They chomp that down in just a matter of just a few minutes. You probably could see her teeth in there. Elephants have 4 molars. Each one is about the size of a brick. And they use that to chew down all those really hard foods. And then when those teeth start to break down and wear down, they'll actually fall out of their mouth, and then they'll regrow a new set. And that happens 7 times over their lifetime. You can see Tessa's trunk. It's a pretty cool, unique structure of an elephant. It's all muscle. You know, there's so many muscles in an elephant's trunk that scientists don't have an exact number of how many muscles are in there. Some say 20,000, some say 100,000. So that's a huge difference. They're very tiny micro muscles, similar to like our tongue. And that allows them to move their trunks in a bunch of different ways. They can expand it, they can kind of shrink it, kind of like a go-go gadget that they have on their front of their face. So it's an elongation of their nose and upper lip. So we have some questions. So someone is asking, how do elephants stay cool in the summer? So these guys, elephants do not sweat. They don't have normal sweat glands like a human. So one of the ways they remove heat from their bodies is by flapping their ears. Their ears will take on a lot of blood when it's hot, and then that helps to cool them off, and then that cooler blood will return to the inside of their body and cool their internal temperature down a bit. And then that will continue to happen. Another way they keep cool is just by getting wet and getting in the pool. Their skin absorbs all that water and it helps to keep them cool. When there's no water available, you might see them throwing dirt and other substrates and grass on their backs, and that will help to protect their skin from the sun, helps to keep them cool by offering some shade, and it helps to keep bugs away. So these, like I said, in the summertime, these guys are in and out of the pool all day long. Right now, they're just in here getting some treats. But, you know, even when the keepers are not out here, if you come to the Houston Zoo, you'll see elephants swimming when it's over 80 degrees, for sure. In the wintertime, sometimes the babies still like to swim. They're not afraid of the cold water. They enjoy it still, but you generally don't see the adults swimming as often. We have another question. What food items are being tossed into the elephant's mouth? So we're giving her chopped up apples and also some rind of the elephant, or of the rind of the watermelon, and then just some smaller chunks of watermelon are being thrown into her mouth. So you can see it right there. Allison is showing off what's in her bucket. We get a huge amount of produce every day, about 40 to 50 pounds that we feed amongst the elephants. This is apples, carrots, watermelons, bananas, sometimes oranges, all types of things. They like strawberries, kale, I mean, you name it, and the elephants probably eat it. One thing they don't usually like is spicy peppers. So don't give an elephant spicy peppers. They don't like those. In some places in Southeast Asia and in Africa, they've used spicy peppers as a deterrent to keep elephants away from their farms. So, so as a bumper crop around like certain crops that the elephants might like more, they'll do a border of spicy peppers, and then that way the elephants will eat the spicy pepper and not like it, or they'll notice it even before they eat it, and then they'll tend to stay away. So that's one of the more interesting ways that they're trying to keep elephants away from the crops that they love to eat. They've also made like different types of solutions out of the spicy peppers, and they'll put it kind of as like a bio border, like a spray or some kind of liquid that they'll put on the ground. And sometimes that will also keep elephants and other animals away from crops. Yeah, every day these guys swim. Sometimes we'll bring them in the pool with apples. Other times they just go in on their own. They love the pool. Yeah. And we have another question. Four-year-old Adeline wants to know what their favorite thing is to eat. So their favorite thing to eat, actually, that varies amongst elephants. So each elephant has their own personality. So some elephants, like Tess, Tessa's favorite food is kale, which is very strange. She loves kale. Can't tell you why, but she does. Mitai, our matriarch, one of her favorite foods are oats. So you give her oats and she just loves it. She gets super happy. She is super responsive for training. She loves oats. A lot of the elephants enjoy bread a lot, which obviously they wouldn't get in the wild. It's kind of like the equivalent of a human getting a cookie, a high-calorie food, squishy, it's tasty. They love watermelons a lot. They also love things like bamboo and different types of trees. So when we give them things like palm fronds or mulberry tree or oak tree, they get really excited and they love to eat that browse. Yeah, our baby elephants are both 2 years old and they're 2 months apart. Yep. So Teddy in the pool is 2 years old, and that's his mom Tess right next to him. And Tess is about to turn 40 tomorrow, so we're doing a Facebook Live for her. Yeah. They can have babies pretty much as long as they're cycling. So Tess has had multiple babies here at the zoo. And they can have a calf about every 3 to 6 years, depending on how their cycles go. Yeah, it's generally one baby at a time. There's a few small, rare instances where twins will be born, which just happened at the Rosamond Gifford Zoo in Syracuse. And so we have another question here. Maria wants to know, can guests feed the elephants? So on a normal day at the zoo, no, we don't allow the public to feed the elephants, but special tours can be purchased online. If you go to the Houston Zoo website and look at the up-close encounters, you can schedule a special tour with the elephants. That is one of the options. And in those tours, you generally get to feed the elephant a little piece of food, and you get to touch their skin, and you get to see behind the scenes, kind of check out what the barn looks like and learn a little bit more about the elephants than you would on a normal day at the zoo. So Teddy here being 2 years old, you can see he's very comfortable in the water. Baby elephants, when they're first born, they do not know how to swim, so that is a learned behavior. If in the wild there's rivers that need to be crossed when a baby elephant is very young, that can be a dangerous situation, but generally the herd will go in together and they'll put the babies in the middle, and then that way the babies can kind of float through and they'll be pushed through by the rest of the herd. Here at the zoo, when we have a newborn baby, we actually lower the pool. We'll put it down to only a few feet, so that way when the baby elephant and mom, if they go down into the pool, the baby can stand and doesn't have to worry about swimming. And then as the baby gets more comfortable with the water and more comfortable with its surroundings and the other elephants, we can slowly raise the pool up to a safe level. And now, Teddy being 2 years old, you can see he's an excellent swimmer. The pool is completely full, and he does not have any fear of the pool. So now Tess is just getting a drink of water, so they like the hose as well. We have drinkers in the yard for the elephants that they use every day, but they love it when the keepers come out and they pull the hose out and they spray them right in the mouth, nice, cool, fresh water, hose them down, give them a bath. They also like to make little mud wallows, and then they'll put the mud on their backs, which you might see Tess do here in just a little while. Oh, there he goes, already doing it. So you can see Tess here is an excellent mud wallow maker. She takes the water in her mouth, she puts it in her trunk, she sprays it right back in the sand, and she kind of squishes it in there till she gets the perfect consistency for it to stick on her skin. And that mud will help to keep her cool as she's out of the pool, and it also protect her skin from the sun, as a sunscreen, and will help to keep bugs off of her as well. You might notice here Teddy's also nursing. So baby elephants nurse from their moms, generally anywhere from 2 to 3 years, but he is also eating all the solid foods that his mom eats. And he started eating solid foods at about 4 to 6 months, and then by a year he was eating all the hay that he wants, and then from a year to 2 years he really is on his solid diet. So we have a question, which elephants are we seeing right here? So this is, well, Teddy and Tess are on the video, and then next to Tess is Tilly and Tupelo, and then next to Tupelo is Winnie. So more of our elephant herd. Tilly is Tessa's daughter. Tupelo is also Tessa's daughter, so they're sisters. Tupelo, who's got her mouth open right now, is 12 years old, and she is the mom of Winnie, who you might be able to see behind her, but if not, she'll probably poke her head around here in a few minutes. So Tupelo was born here at the Houston Zoo, and then 2 years ago she had her first baby. So that's a pretty cool thing that happened here at the zoo. We're pretty excited about that. Tupelo, you might notice she's a bit smaller than the other adult females. You know, she's just a petite elephant. We don't know what to tell you. She still is growing. She won't reach her full size till she's in her 20s, but according to her weight chart, I mean, she just is a smaller elephant. He's over there. Yep. So yeah, the herd of elephants, this big group of elephants is a female group, so it's a matriarchal society. So all the adult females live together. They're led by the matriarch, who in our case is Mitai. And then they all raise the babies together. So they all take their turn being aunties and cousins and sisters and helping to raise the babies. And then the males, they tend to not live in this like matriarchal society. They will come to the herds as they please, come in and out. They socialize, but they don't necessarily feel that strong bond. So males eventually do get kicked out of the herd when they start to become rambunctious, and they'll often go and play with other males in little bachelor herds as they're maturing. And then once they're a fully mature elephant, you know, in their 20s, they'll tend to break up and find new herds of elephants to mingle with. So do we have any pregnancies? Not at this time. You know, we hope to have an elephant that's pregnant soon, but just not at this time. Elephants' pregnancies are pretty cool. The moms are, their gestation period is about 22 months. So it's a long time that they're pregnant, almost 2 years. And then when the baby elephant is born, they're weigh anywhere between 200 to 400 pounds. And then, like I said, the moms will nurse those babies anywhere from 2 to 3 years. So we don't usually see a mom having a baby until, you know, every 3 to 6 years, depending on their cycles. So thanks for tuning in, and join us again next Wednesday at 11 a.m.